Well, hello there, you beautiful people. Are you beautiful? Let me know. Let me know if you think you're beautiful. We are back with more Great Ace Attorney adventures. This is still the same day as the last session I played because, I got bored. Didn't really feel like doing anything else, so I was like, just play the game again. Just pick up the game later. I've eaten at least, so I'm not hungry. Took a short little, took a few hours of break-age, so we're back again. We last left off. We met the Inspector Luigi, or Gregson, I think that's his name. We met our soon-to-be client, a Japanese man who has really fucked up eyes, and we are this setting that this title is starting in is Herlock's suite room, and we met Iris Wilson. Sorry, not Watson. I'm getting the names all confused. I think we're gonna be visiting the inspector now with the card a postcard that Iris gave us. I think we're bribing him for information or something, I think? It came with, the card that she gave us came with like a 5 shilling or whatever. I don't know currency in London. I didn't think there was so much. There's shilling, there's guinea, and there's pence. Are they like different types of coins or something that represent like a different amount? Well, it must be, right? Guinea, I'm assuming, is like the most. Maybe? I don't know. I tried looking up guinea and I didn't really get anything. It sounds like it's like an old, I'm guessing it's like an outdated currency, but I don't know. Here in America, all we have are dollars and, well, I guess we have pennies and dimes and nickels and quarters. So I don't know. Maybe pence is like a cent. Anyway, doesn't matter. It looks as though the police are still here, carrying on with their investigation.
Perfect. So let's find Inspector Gregson as quickly as possible.
Yes, and let's see if he'll take a break from his chips to look at that silver tip Iris gave us for him. Hello. You need to eat better food. You can't just be eating fish and chips all the time. That's like bad. That's like too much fried stuff. Throw a vegetable in there or something. Oh wait, we have to give him something. A card for Inspector Gregson with a message on the back from Iris. Oh, what nice handwriting.
Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem. Iris Wilson, Heart.
What a cute little card. And it has a coin attached to it. What is this, a quarter?
This is a 5 shilling piece, isn't it? I believe it's called a crown.
Yes, and you can train a Scotland Yard detective to do whatever you want with just a single one.
Iris must be the most powerful 10-year-old in the world.
How much is 5 shillings, by the way? What's it really worth?
Well, it's probably enough to buy all the chips the inspector could possibly eat in a whole month.
That's greasy. That's also a lot, isn't it? 5 shillings. What is 5 shillings worth? Hang on, I have to know. I have to know now. Okay, Google says 1 shilling is equal to 12 pences. 12 pence, which pence is a penny. And the US equivalent, roughly, is that of $20. So, 5 shillings is $100. Iris, is it okay for you to give that much money? Dang, you're generous. I mean, I don't know how accurate that is, but that's what Google tells me, so... Oh, whoops, I didn't see this. We saw this already. Leave. Oh, wait, fuck. I have to present this to him, sorry. Inspector Gregson, do you have a moment? What was his voice?
Luigi! I'm sorry to say I don't. I'm a very busy man.
Much too busy to talk to a pair of foreign gadabouts, that's for sure. I don't know what a gadabout is.
We have these for you. A present from Miss Iris Wilson.
What? For me? From her ladyship? Ladyship? Her ladyship? Get that here at once! Come on, hand it over! That's for me! I forgot his voice. Luigi. Ah, don't wait for me to give it to you, will you? Ladyship? What was that coin exactly? It's a silver crown, obviously. but it's a lot more than that. It's, well, it's an appearance fee, that's what it is. Pardon? What?
An appearance fee? Oh, I see. You mean...
That's right. For the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. Her ladyship always offers me a little financial reward for featuring me every time.
Yes, of course. I know all about your exploits, Inspector. I read them avidly.
What? Of course, her using my name without my say-so does make me the butt of a lot of unpleasant jokes. But still. I'm sorry, Inspector. That must be difficult for you. So she pays him. She pays him so that he shows up in her stories? I'm so distracted by him eating the fish because I want the fish, but I don't quite get it. Never you mind that. So, what did you want to know about it, eh? Sorry? Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem, it says. Well, obviously it's not a problem. Go on, fire away. What do you want to know?
Well, if you wouldn't mind, Inspector. We'd very much like to know the address of Mr. Natsume's lodgings.
Ah, the little knife-wielding, mustache Japanese fellow? He lives in the right old hovel. It's right over there. Look. Ah, damn it, I knew that. We didn't have to pay him 5 shillings for that information. On the first floor of that house on the corner where that wreck of a bicycle's propped up.
That is nearby indeed.
If I remember rightly, the landlord is Mr. John Garadeb? Garadeb? Right, well, if you see her again, you make sure you give her ladyship my regards, you hear? Ladyship? I mean it! You tell her that Gregson sends his very best wishes! Don't worry, Inspector, we will. What? I can't tell if he's like, goodbye for now then. And long live her ladyship. I can't tell, does he like her? Does he admire her? Does he respect her? Is he threatened by her? I can't tell.
Well, at least he told us what we wanted to know before he left.
Yes. So then, shall we go see if we could find what we could find in Mr. Natsume's lodgings?
Definitely.
Okay. I guess we'll go. A new location's been added. Okay. The lodging of Mr. Soseki Natsume, according to the information gleaned from Inspector Gregerson. So Sholmes should be in here? There's a whole ass cannon in this room, huh? There's also a medal. Things are crooked, and that bothers me, but... Oh, I guess they ran into this... They barged into this place. I mean, that shouldn't knock down things on the wall like that, but... May I help you? No. May I help you? I don't fucking have a voice for whatever, doesn't matter. Yes. Would this be the residence of Mr. John Garadeb? Oh, this isn't Natsume's room. Indeed it would, sir. And who may I say is calling? My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Mr. Naruhodo is representing Mr. Soseki Natsume? I believe he takes lodging here.
What? She got happy there for a second.
We would very much like to ask him some questions about our client.
What? What is she doing? One moment, please. I shall convey the message to Mr. Garadeb. I done fucked up. I should have given her a better voice. I'm sorry. Did you see that, Mr. Sato? That was a real-life English maid.
I know. As I understand it, anyone of standing in English society employs a number of household staff. But that was the first time I've ever seen one in the flesh. Oh, this day keeps getting better.
Do the people of higher power in Japan not hire staff? I'm pretty sure they would. It certainly feels like we've really arrived now, doesn't it?
We need only to meet a butler, and the experience will be complete.
Well, I'm not sure if I go that far, but I understand the sentiment. Thank you for waiting. Mr. Garb will see you down. This way. Oh, he has a portrait of himself on that wall. I guess he's a vet. You just stole a cannon, and it has an apron on it. Hold up, wait, is that okay? What a picture. You know what? I'm gonna examine the room this time around and not like how last time when. What happened here? Are you okay, fam? What is wrong with your room? There's something on the floor here. Let's go from left to right.
That's a full-size cannon! What's it doing in here? Oh my, it's real! I thought it might be a replica.
That old thing. Oh, I don't have a voice for you, Tristan of Yu-Gi-Oh! Fame. In a couple of hours, the sun will rise. If it's any consolation, the sun will rise. I can't do that to him, he's old. I don't have a voice for you, god damn it. That old thing. Oh, he says bah. That old thing, bah. That's little more than a toy. I don't have a voice for him, I'm sorry. Sorry? The army was selling it off when I retired, so I decided to give it a new home. Never know when an enemy might attack next. Jolly useful to have a cannon around the house. Using his pipe to stir his tea. Really? It isn't overkill? Be prepared, I always say. You never know what this twisted world is going to throw at you next, boy.
Do you think there might be some trouble?
Sorry, I got distracted by something's in my eye. Okay. And now I have to write the other one to make it more balanced. Okay. Even though there's something wrong with this one. Okay.
Do you think there might be some trouble brewing, Mr. Garadeb?
Always is. Take Joan here. Never fails to have a clean apron in reserve. Dries them over the barrel, you see. They dry very well in the cannon there, Joan tells me. Which rather proves my point, I feel.
It's been reduced to a drying rack. No wonder the huge cannon looks like it's hanging its head in shame.
Oh, it's fine. I do like that I'm just examining the room before I even talk to him, but I'm not risking it like how I did last time with Holmes' place. Sholmes, I mean, fuck.
That uniform looks fairly ancient, doesn't it? It's clearly been well looked after It's clearly been well looked after, though.
That old thing, pah, not much better than rags, really.
Oh?
Wore that ceremonial garb at my retirement bash, you know. But I'm not one for dwelling on the past me. Would have gladly thrown it out, but you know how it is. Anyway, doesn't hurt to have the odd piece of memorabilia lying around, does it?
Oh, I see. Perhaps we should leave the past in the past. Play these shitty games that suck ass. He'd rather have a buffalo. Take a
Are those mortar shells? They're enormous.
I hadn't noticed. What are they doing here?
You know what? I saw those bullets and I thought they were for the cannon, but cannons don't shoot bullets. What are those used for? What are mortar shells used for? Those little things. Couple of little rounds I accidentally fired into the barracks during training, you know. Became a bit of colorful regiment folklore, that incident.
You mean you deliberately hunted out the spent shells?
Well, I wouldn't say deliberately, exactly. They're only scrap iron after all. Usually just thrown away, I believe. But you never know when things might come in useful, do you?
Useful for what exactly?
Yes, well.
Is there anything in your pipe?
Joan here did manage to knock one of the bally things on my foot the other day while she was dusting.
Oh no!
Hadn't shed a tear since 1869 before then, you know.
Maybe reconsider throwing them away? I don't even know what they're for. That looks like a Medal of Honor, and it's showcased on a very grand banner.
Yes, it's displayed with some pride, I would say. Although it bothers me that it's not straight. What? That old thing? Sorry? I should be glad to see the back of it, but the general would turn in his grave if I disposed of it. The wall is the best place for it. Keeps the bally thing out of the way.
So it's just being polished to shine by accident, I suppose? There appears to be an inscription on the medal itself. Look, let me see. It says, for distinguished participation.
It's a participation award. Sounds like the kind of honors even I could be in line for. Well, one doesn't like to blow one's own trumpet, but I was given that for my time in the army. So he's like an army man who like pretends that it wasn't a big deal, but he actually is very like proud of it, but he also sucked again, I think. I don't know. Can't measure an officer by the number of medals to his name, of course. Common knowledge in military circles. I guess, I don't fucking know. It's a portrait of himself. Why did we zoom in on it? That portrait of Mr. Garadeb is glaring at me, I swear.
Have you noticed that all the little frames contain photographic prints of Mr. Garadeb as well?
Yes, and there seems to be a statue of a lion on the mantelpiece as well. Ah, yes. Seems to come back from the local pawnbroker with that little trinket. Seems to come back? What do you mean? The chap who runs the place is a bally wizard. Went in to sell him something and I came out with that thing. In point of fact, now I think about it, I'd rather often find myself leaving that place with something I don't need.
The lion ornament certainly does seem surplus to requirements.
Susato-san doesn't pull her punches. Or her throws for that matter. Okay.
Look at that enormous screen. It must have been put there deliberately, surely.
Yes, it certainly seems like someone's trying to hide something from view. What could be behind it, I wonder?
I'm going to have a very quick look. Just a little peek.
Maybe let's not, Mrs. Sato. But there's something on the floor. I think the maid is gonna head us off with a cup of tea. What is this on the floor? And it looks like this rug is burnt? Or like frayed? But what is this on the floor? Oh, it's a candle. Maybe? Maybe it's burnt here? Something got burned? I just wonder why we don't call attention to the thing that's on the floor. Yeah, what the hell happened to this place? Why is everything a fucking mess? Look at the fucking little desserts are all toppled over.
Oh, look. Oh, what a wonderful collection of cakes lined up on that gleaming silver cake stand.
Lined up? Looks more like someone has half demolished them to me. Afternoon tea is a time of indulgence, you know. It is quite the English way. It is Mr. Gerdeb's custom to take 2 cakes with his tea.
That sounds delightful.
Oh, wait a minute though. There were at least 10 cakes on this cake stand. Well, naturally. And it would never do to waste the leftovers. So whatever Mr. Gerard doesn't eat, I say so to myself. Joan, you should have to tidy up. How magnanimous, how magnanimous, maybe, of you. Whatever. Candle.
This old candle holder looks a little out of place here, wouldn't you say?
Yes, you're right. I mean, sorry. Yes, you're right. It's clearly supposed to be gold, but it's almost completely black for some reason. That old thing, yes. Just a cheap piece of ironmongery. Gimcrack, really. Oh. Used it when I was studying, don't you know? For my commission. I know it's old. Hardly worth hanging on to, really. But, well, still has its uses sometimes.
Of course.
Does everything in this room have some elaborate story behind it?
They're memories, Miss Naruhodo. Memories.
Memories is not easy to leave me. Look at this crockery on display here. It's rather unusual, isn't it?
Oh my! A genuine London dresser! Isn't it delightful?
What?
Although the shelves seem to be broken, and the crockery is... Oh dear! It's in pieces!
What happened here? I don't want to, like, this. Did you shoot the cannon or something? It really is. The word cracked wouldn't do that chinaware justice.
Ah! I wonder... Perhaps the cannon was fired at it.
Yes, probably something like that. But let's not delve too deeply here. How peculiar.
This window looks out over Briar Road, where the young woman was attacked.
Oh yes, I can make out the policeman on the far side of the road investigating the crime scene.
The glass is rather murky, isn't it? You can't see very clearly.
Does this thing open at all, I wonder? I shouldn't underestimate the bitterness of a London winter, sir. Sorry? As soon as you open that window, the tea will freeze in the pot. No Londoners will go opening windows at dusk in the middle of winter, I assure you. It seems very unlikely that these two would have seen anything of the incident then. Watch, they get named as the witnesses. Because my guess is that they were probably chilling over here somewhere, and the candle, I guess they had a candle in hand, and it dropped on the floor and it lit it on fire. Hence why the candle's on the floor. Alright, I think I examined everything. Maybe? Oh. Just kidding. I noticed you have a pile of books here, Mr. Garadeb. Do you enjoy reading? Ever experienced a London winter, boy? The nights are long. No better way to pass the time than in front of the fire with a jolly good book.
Oh, there's a copy of Rand's magazine here, I see. No doubt Mr. Karadeb enjoys the adventures of Herlock Sholmes too.
The great detective has a great many followers, it would seem. Gotta pass the time somehow. God, there's so much Chinaware or dishes or whatever the fuck. I don't, like, why do you need so much? I guess if you're hosting people, whatever. Having that much dishes kind of stresses me out. Is there anything else? I assume... Oh. I guess you can click on him, but we'll talk to him. Unless I have to... Oh, I have to actually examine them. Okay. Good day to you. John Garrett at your service.
Pleased to meet you, sir. This is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. He's a defense lawyer.
Do excuse me not cutting up. I took a shot to the knee a few years back in the Battle of My Wand. Don't you know, My Wand? Earned a medal for my pains, but had to withdraw from service. Handed over the reins up to the up-and-comings. So he's a retired soldier. It's a hell of a job getting up and down stairs now, I can tell you. Don't get out much, as you can imagine. Yes, it's quite a climb up here to the second floor, isn't it? I was panting at the top of the stairs.
You really must take more exercise, Mr. Naruhodo.
Listen, don't judge. Ugh, do you think so?
Well, Mr. Garadeb, no doubt you were very courageous to earn yourself a medal.
Oh, it was nothing. The medal is just a full the roll, really. Wouldn't like to offend the general, though, so I grudgingly displayed it on the wall. Why don't you fetch it down, Joe? Let these good people see it properly. Joe, fetch the... Ah! That's an old woman! Be careful! What? That's... Oh, dear me. I do beg your pardon, sir. You jolly nearly took the skin off my hand. I shall be more careful, sir. Why do you even have her here? So anyway, there you have it. Living the quiet life now. Yes, I see. Now then, I hear you want to know about the chap lodging downstairs. Is that right? Oh, he lives upstairs? He doesn't live on the first floor? Oh. Why the hell? What?
Yes, we would be very grateful if you could answer some questions for us.
Only too pleased, naturally. Especially if it helps to keep the peace here in Blighty. We forged an alliance with the Empire of Japan recently, as I'm sure you're aware. Yeah, that's why we're here, duh. So this case is very much in the public eye, as it were. Oh, is it? Even had some famous detective poking around, you know. In this old house, would you believe? Don't tell me Sholmes is the one who busted everything like that.
Yes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Could have been. Didn't catch the chap's name. Not really my cup of tea, all that detective business. Even though you have his book?
Oh, but you have a copy of the Rand's magazine here, so...
No. Why does he keep lying? Anyway, the chap's investigating the foreigner rumors we speak. So he's in Sasaki-san's room. It's a bally nuisance is what it is. The whole neighborhood's switching at its curtains now. I don't like all this fuss. It's jolly unsettling.
About Mr. Natsume then, Mr. Garadeb. Please, do tell us.
Ah yes, the Japanese chap. Only been lodging here for a week. A week? Oh, just 1 week. So he moved in very recently then. I have 2 lodgers most of the time. One on the ground floor and one just below us. The first floor room became available a week ago, you see. There'd been... Ah! That's it all, Joan! Do be careful! Oh, my goodness. I'm terribly sorry, sir. Is she keeping him from saying stuff? Like, I don't get... If you want to know my opinion. I thought he was shady sort from the moment I set eyes on him. If I were to smack my cheek, probably the other side would jiggle too. So I feel you, girl.
Oh, why?
He seemed to have a most nervous disposition. Whatever. Always shaking and looking over his shoulder. The man had shady written across his sweat-soaked brow, if you ask me. I said to myself, John, that man is trouble. Sooner or later, he's going to do something untoward. And I'm rarely wrong about anything. We won't be calling this maid as a witness, that's for sure.
Was there anything else that struck you as suspicious about the man at all?
Yes, oh yes, indeed there was.
And she's dying to tell us. Had you noticed anything else all about your lodger, Mr. Natsume?
Oh my word, yes. That man was shadier than an orchard.
And could you elaborate?
Well, take the man's room. Absolutely stuffed full of books, it is. More than anyone could ever read. And he never so much as passed the time of day with another living soul. I haven't seen a single visitor's call. He just trots off to that old bookshop every single day, and comes back to 5 to light the gas fire. And the funny little man is up long past the time everyone else in the house has gone to bed too.
Oh, I see.
That gentleman on the ground floor goes to bed at around 9 each night. But I've never known that Japanese fellow to retire any earlier than 2 in the morning.
Ah.
Could you clarify something, I wonder?
What, pray?
How do you know so much about Mr. Natsume's routine? I'd understood that neither of the lodgers live on this floor of the house. Is that correct?
That's right, yes. They're both below us, on the first floor on the street level.
Then, how is it that you know so much about the lives of your lodgers? The precise times that they come back in the evening, for example. Even the times they go to bed.
Good grief, Joan! Be more careful, woman! Oh my goodness, sir. I'm terribly sorry, sir.
Yeah, they're definitely doing that because they're fucking hiding shit. Something doesn't add up here. Y'all are sus. It seems that the incident took place at around 5 in the evening. Did you happen to look out of the window at around that time?
The window?
Yes, we noticed that the window over there looks out over Briar Road. The incident took place on the pavement just on the far side of the street. Was there anyone suspicious loitering nearby?
5 o'clock is dinner time in the Garadeb household. So I'm afraid I don't remember seeing anything. How about you, John? No, sir. It would have been dusk outside already at that hour. And with the fog as well, I should think it would have been quite impossible to see the other side of the road.
Oh, I see.
Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary then?
Such as?
Anything at all, even if it seems unrelated.
Well,
Yes? Was there something then?
well, it's nothing particularly significant, but around that sort of time there... Ah! For the love of God, Joan! What were you doing? Oh, dear me, what have I done? I'm awfully sorry, sir. Don't be more careful, woman.
There's only so much tea in that pot. How have you not spilled it already?
Of course, sir. If I may, Mr. Naruhodo?
Naruhodo? Oh, yes?
I have an exceedingly good memory, and as far as I remember, nothing of any significance took place here at that hour. Nothing at all.
Oh, really? Mr. Garadeb? The way you were talking before, it sounded rather like there might have been.
Oh, well, as I was saying, it was a trifling matter, really. Nothing of... Ah! Joan, dash it all! What is the matter with you, woman? Begging your pardon, sir. Nothing happened. Yes, quite. Nothing happened. We sat down to a quite uneventful meal. Joan? That's right, Mr. Garadeb.
What is the matter with these two? Yeah, what is this? What's happening here?
It sounds like something happened here in this room on the evening of the incident. But what?
I wish I knew. I guess we'll never find out. Could you tell us which floor Mr. Natsume's room is on?
Why, certainly. Just below us on the first floor.
It's confusing that they separate the ground level with first floor. when in my head I feel like ground level should just be the first floor, but whatever.
And Mr. Sholmes is investigating there even as we speak.
Yes, told me not his name had asked him to look into the matter, so I gave him the key.
Mr. Natsume has engaged Mr. Sholmes' services?
That's a blatant lie. Would it be alright if we also had a look around? In Mr. Natsume's room, I mean.
Don't see why not. It's just down one flight of stairs.
Who knows if we'll find anything that could help us with the case, but we have to try. We need all the clues we can. We need all the clues we can lay our hands on, shall we?
Yes, and while we're there, we can speak with Mr. Sholmes again. Perhaps he'll be able to tell us more.
Y'all are weird. I don't like you two. I'm leaving. Let's go talk to Sholmes.
Kitty!
Oh my god, there is a lot of fucking books here, and that window leads to nothing? That's sad. God, this room is such a fucking mess. God, I hate it. It doesn't even have a bed. What? Just look at this place. And smell it. It's so musty in here. This is disgusting. I suppose it's the mountains of old books that are responsible for that.
I don't think I've ever seen so many books in all my life.
No, me neither. It's so dark in here, too.
Is that the window over there?
Well, it was the window, I think. Yes, once upon a time. But for some reason, it's been closed up with bricks and mortar. So this is where Mr. Natsume lives.
By the way, I haven't spotted Mr. Sholmes anywhere. Have you?
No, that's true. But according to what Mr. Garrideb told us, the great detective should be around here somewhere investigating. Am I gonna have to... Huh. I was expecting to pan over and I'd see him hanging off of something, but he's probably over here somewhere, right? Because the candle is over here. Well, let's examine the room from left to right. Kitty.
Oh, look! It's a beckoning cat from home.
It's a bit big and bulky, isn't it? Surely Mr. Natsume didn't bring that Maneki Neko all the way from Japan with him.
I hardly think you're in a position to comment, Mr. Naruhodo. Are you forgetting the enormous Daruma doll that you brought in your luggage?
Well, it could be dangerous traveling abroad. I wanted a lucky charm.
Well, I imagine Mr. Natsume wanted the same, and this cat is sure to beckon good luck to him.
It's not doing a very good job so far, is it?
You mustn't say such things.
I didn't say a word. Why are my eyes such a giveaway? Just means that you're an honest person. What is this? Is this a fucking like fire alarm? This appears to be some sort of meter on the wall here. It looks very robust. I wonder what it's for. There's a slot for inserting coins here too.
Ah, I believe that is a gas meter, Mr. Naruhodo.
A gas meter?
Yes, it seems there is piped gas in this district, which consumers pay for by putting coins in the meter.
So if you were to put a coin in the slot,
that would be enough gas to use the lights and the gas fire for the whole night.
Wow, you pay on the spot? That's weird. So if you're too poor to have a coin, you'd have to spend the night in the dark and freeze and cold?
That's right, as would a rich man who only carried crisp white notes.
Brr, London's a scary place. That's weird. Look at all those books stacked up there. They almost reach the ceiling.
They're all works of English literature, and they all smell so musty.
With this volume of books to hand, you'd never be short of reading material, would you?
No, what a dreamy idea.
A bad dream, maybe. For me, at least. Mind you, I don't imagine the books that's at the bottom of the pile now will ever be read again.
Ah, so reading it is an experience that comes but once in a lifetime, just as the tea ceremony teaches us.
I certainly didn't expect the conversation to turn down the path of tea ceremony philosophy. She's so educated.
That desk seems to be wedged into a crevasse between the mountains of books on either side.
I suppose Mr. Natsume would sit there and read while stroking his cat. But surrounded on all sides by these towering old tomes, surely he dreamt of books every night as well.
Yes, he must have done, mustn't he? Oh, what's this? It's a receipt from a second-hand bookshop. Your books.
Oh yes, Mr. Natsume's name is on it. Look, and the date of purchase. 2 days ago at 4:45 p.m. That's the day of the incident.
That's just a short while before he was embroiled in the terrible attack. He must have been on his way back from buying some old books.
Receipt discovered in Natsume's room for some books that he had purchased from a second-hand bookshop before the incident occurred. Let's look at it. Oh, the sum of 2 shillings. We just learned what shillings were. Was it like $20? I think it was. Tendered in receipt of the picture of Monsieur Lecoq, whatever. A meal for Gabrara, Canterbury Earnings. Are these real books? I'll never know. Okay. Kitty cat.
Wow.
A lot of cats in this game, huh? Darka, who we never saw.
It disappeared. Oh my, what an adorable little cat. Perhaps he's looking after all the books while his master is away. Who's feeding the cat while he's gone?
I don't know about that. He disappeared into that pile of books as quick as a flash. It was a tricolor Mike, wasn't it? Did they even have that sort of cat here in Great Britain? Mike? Is that what you call it?
Perhaps Mr. Natsume brought the little creature with him from Japan.
That's made me feel homesick now.
Already? We've only been in the country for 2 days.
Yeah, but it's been what, over 50 days because of traveling and everything. My dude, did you forget about that? Aw, cat's gone now. I don't know how I would survive on a boat for 50 days. Imagine if you were the type to get seasick, bitch, you'd die. Oh. Look at all these balls of paper on the floor. There are notes scrawled all over them, in English. It looks like the waste paper basket is so full that they just fallen out. Why doesn't he fucking empty it?
I think Mr. Natsume must have been deeply immersed in his research, don't you?
Or deeply adverse to tidying up his mess. He's only been here for a week though, think about it. That should build up in a week.
I wouldn't like to speculate which is closer to the truth.
Terrible, terrible, terrible living arrangements. Oh, there he is. You weren't there before. Did I have to talk to the cat for you to come out? But look at how cute he is over here, just sitting here reading a book. Hi there.
Look, Mr. Naruhodo.
Ah, there he is. Where did he appear from?
He seems to be engrossed in the pages of an old book. I hope he won't mind if we disturb him. Hello, Mr. Sholmes?
Oh no. What was your voice again? Ah, you too. Good day. Now let me see. Where was it that we met?
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, we were together on the SS Buria.
Yes, of course. The Buria. And let me see. What happened on that voyage? It was Kazuma Asogi. He died. Tragically. But you were a great help to us. Ah, yes, but of course. The case of Mr. Asogi. It was the one with the snake, wasn't it?
Oh!
Well, you seem to remember something of it, at least. Oh, how sad that he doesn't fully remember us.
What an honor to be remembered vaguely by the great Herlock Sholmes. This is Mr.
Oh, no, my dear madame. Hold your tongue. I pride myself on my superior powers of recollection. Your names are safely recorded in my brain attic. Are they now? Miss Naruhodo. And Mr. Susato. I didn't realize we got married. Try the other way around, Mr. Sholmes. Ah! I lose the first round. Man, he could be really cute But then he talks and it's kind of like, In truth, I had hoped to invite you both to my Baker Street suite the day we arrived in London. But some Scotland Yarders ambushed me at the railway station and whisked me away to a crime scene. It was an entirely trivial case, of course. I solved the matter in no more than 30 minutes. So they apprehended Soseki-san in that short of an amount of time? I'm afraid the pursuance of a new case has dulled my recollections of my past involvements a little. A little. It is a mistake to think that one's brain attic has elastic walls and can distend to any extent. I do my best to forget useless facts, lest they should elbow out the useful ones. But how can you tell what's useless and what's useful? Yes, those are my own words of individual wisdom, you know, from an adventure entitled A Study in Scarlet. Please, there's no need to quote yourself. I don't always remember my pearls of wisdom, but fortunately, my associate pens them beautifully. He means Iris, I suppose.
Mr. Sholmes, we have some extremely important questions to ask you about the trivial case you just mentioned.
Goodness, what an earnest expression. My dear madame, I should be only too pleased, and this murky room is an apt place to discuss the murky case. Sick. We know this to be the lodgings of a Japanese foreign student by the name of Soseki Natsume. It seems that you assisted in his arrest, Mr. Sholmes? For the stabbing of a young woman outside here on Briar Road. Natsume. Yes, I believe it was a name rather along those lines.
But Mr. Natsume denies it. Was it really justifiable to arrest him on so little?
I'm sorry, Mr. Sato, but I have not the slightest idea what you mean.
What?
I can't believe he was looking Sato-san squarely in the eye while feigning ignorance. I assure you, I am not merely feigning ignorance. Don't fucking stop reading. Everyone always reads our minds. It would appear as if the pair of you are under some misapprehension. Oh, how? I assure you I have no recollection of accusing your stooped compatriots of the crime. But that doesn't make any sense. The good detective of Scotland Yard made the following request. Oh, sorry, shit. The good detective of Scotland Yard made the following request of me, and I quote verbatim. We need you to ascertain the identity and whereabouts of a man seen fleeing the crime scene. A man seen fleeing? There were a number of books scattered on the pavement at the scene. From the book plates, I was quickly able to determine the bookshop from which they had been purchased. On speaking with the proprietor, I was immediately led to this address. Elementary, wouldn't you say? I believe there's a receipt around here somewhere from the establishment in question.
So, you don't think Mr. Natsume is the culprit then?
That I could not tell you. But it was aggravating my faculties, hence why I returned here. However, this place is such a trove of fascinating books. I found myself quite lost in bibliophily. Sure. Sure. Do not be deceived into believing that I am a man of leisure. No, no, no.
Oh dear.
Landlord. Ah, tell me. Have you encountered the landlord of these lodgings? Yes, Mr. Garadeb, a retired military man.
It was the first time I've ever met a soldier from the Great British Institution that is services.
And it was the first time I've ever met a maid from the Great British Institute that is service. Ah! I didn't think it was that funny. I do apologize. As you may well be aware, many households in London employ a maid.
Yes, I read as much as in my Great Britain primer.
And so, conversely, whether or not a household employs a maid has come to betoken the social standing of these dwelling therein. Betoken their social standing? Sorry? Put simply, my dear fellow, those who employ at least a single maid are considered middle class. Those who do not are beneath that. In the upper echelons of society, of course, households employ enough staff to constitute a large family.
Goodness, how extraordinary.
It's because you're all fucking lazy. As you can appreciate, for those on the precarious boundary between the middle and lower classes. Being able to afford just one maid is of the first importance. Sure. I had no idea. And it is for precisely that reason that I find great stimulation in the situation upstairs. Specifically, in the retired army veteran, Mr. John Garadeb. Oh? Affable as he is, the fellow was hiding something. Whether or not it imposes on the circumstances of this case, I am as yet unable to ascertain. I'm thoroughly lost on what he means to say. That there's something sus about the man upstairs. That maid of his is probably not even his maid, it's probably his wife or something. This room is thoroughly suffocating for the soul, my dear fellow. I assure you, any man whose lot is to dwell in a place such as this will stab somebody sooner or later. Oh my god, rude.
Mr. Natsume has stabbed no one.
Ah, but sooner or later, as I said. Oh, shut up.
I don't believe that's the issue here.
About this dark little room, Mr. Sholmes. Why is there no longer a window? Do you have any idea? No window. Well, I mean, I can clearly see that there is a window, of sorts. But it's been completely blocked with bricks. Ah, I see. The answer to that question is quite simple. Window tax. Window tax? What is that? That can't be real.
Surely, not a tax on windows.
Precisely that.
Oh my goodness!
What? That can't be real. Until relatively recently, a tax was levied on households in this country by the number of the windows. Those of lesser means, having inherited a sizable and costly family home perhaps, rapidly closed windows up. While the rich opened windows here and there and everywhere. In an effort to curry favor with those in power by furnishing them with large sums of tax money. What?
How awful and unjust, forcing people to live in rooms devoid of light.
That sounds stupid. Indeed, disease was rife as a result. So some 40 years ago, or thereabouts, the window tax was abolished. Oh good, okay. But its legacy remains, as you can see, in squalid lodgings such as these, for example. I suppose Mr. Natsume's stipend for living here in London isn't very generous, perhaps. It would appear so. I've done a little digging, and discovered that these lodgings were offered at an extraordinarily low price.
Because the room is so awful, I should think.
Apparently, Mr. Natsume only moved in here about 1 week ago. Yes, that's correct. However, I don't believe the low rent is explained by the shabby nature of the accommodation. Oh? Still, that is of little relevance here. A matter not worthy of further attention. Well, now that you mention it, it is. Are you sure? I'm curious now. To fucking tell us no. Are we done with you? Well, I believe I've told you all I can now. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, yes, Mr. Naruhodo. Was it not your intention to become a practitioner of law? You remembered that, didn't you? Will you perhaps be offering your services in this very matter, I wonder? To the occupant of this room, Mr. Natsume, was it? I'm not sure. Not sure? On what grounds? Well, I actually defended someone in court here only yesterday. Really? Well then, I congratulate you, sir, on an ambition realized, and so promptly too. The thing is, it's really made me question things. Am I right to believe in my clients? To trust in their innocence? Yes, trust. Mr. Sholmes? Mr. Natsume didn't do it, did he? Ah! My dear fellow, I haven't the first idea. He's like, bitch, I don't fucking know. Oh, but I thought that's why you were here. Didn't you come back to investigate? Ah, yes, that was indeed my initial intention. But there are simply too many fascinating books here. I couldn't possibly ignore them. What? Oh, I see. Nevertheless, there are two facts that I can state quite unequivocally. The man who fled the scene of the crime 2 days ago was the Japanese occupant of this room. There are witnesses who swear to having seen the same man commit the crime. That is all I can say. Ah, and one more thing.
Oh, what is it, Mr. Sholmes? Tell us.
I cannot say with any certainty whether or not it is of relevance to this case, but I am quite sure that the retired army man who owns this property is hiding something. Well, I already knew that, but Mr. Garrett is? Mr. Sholmes said as much before Ashley, didn't he? Anyway, at present, that is really all that plays on my mind in relation to this case.
Mr. Naruhodo, as yet, our investigations have uncovered nothing that could help establish Mr. Natsume's innocence.
No, you're right. Perhaps it's time we probed a little deeper into Mr. Garrett's secret. Just remember, I cannot be sure whether the landlord's secret will prove to be of relevance or not. But I wish you every success, of course, Mr. Naruhodo. Wait, come with, let's get the secret out together. Come with, don't leave. A busy man indeed. He's gone back to his books in the corner of the room. What? If you're not gonna do anything important, fucking come with! You son of a bitch! I can talk to him, apparently. Excuse me, Mr. Sholmes. Yes, so true. To be or not to be? That is indeed a question, Mr. Naruhodo. To be or not to be brushed off? That is the question. And to answer is all too clear.
Let's leave Mr. Sholmes in peace, shall we?
Come on, he's not even doing anything important, you son of a bitch! Fine.